She was told she didn't belong in that boardroom, a black woman from the projects walking into a world built to keep her out. But Ursula Burns didn't just walk in. She changed the rules. If this story moves you, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to support inspiring stories of resilience and justice. Let's begin. A storm loomed outside as Ursula stepped into the towering headquarters of one of the world's most powerful corporations. No assistants, no flashy entrance, just her. Most thought she was the intern. She was actually about to chair the meeting. The receptionist barely looked up. Deliveries go around back. Ursula smiled politely. I'm not delivering. I'm leading. A flicker of confusion crossed the woman's face, then disbelief. But Ursula was already walking to the executive floor. The boardroom buzzed with white shirts and silver hair. Jokes flew, until Ursula walked in. Silence. One man checked his notes, confused. Are you? With catering? She placed her folder on the table. No, I'm here to lead this division. They didn't laugh. Not openly, but the smirks were loud enough. Ursula opened the meeting with poise. Let's begin with last quarter's underperformance. She knew her place in the room, and she was about to redefine it. Charts flipped. Graphs showed red. A voice muttered, We've never had someone like you here before. Ursula didn't flinch. Good. Then maybe now we'll get somewhere. A pause. Then she dissected their model, exposing a flaw none of them had seen. Silence fell. One executive shifted in his chair. Ursula's analysis wasn't just correct, it was brilliant. She'd spotted a compounding error they had missed for months. Suddenly, no one cared where she came from. They cared what she knew. But behind the scenes, whispers grew. She's too direct. Not a team player, rough around the edges. Ursula heard it all and ignored it. She wasn't here to be comfortable. She was here to rebuild the foundation. She stayed late, studied earlier. While others clocked out for cocktails, she was recalculating logistics in an empty office. The janitor asked once, Why work this hard? She smiled. Because no one expects me to win. That's why I will. In a corner office, a VP scowled. She's making us look bad. His colleague nodded. Let's give her a stretch project, see if she can handle pressure. They didn't know pressure was Ursula's native language. The project was a mess, a failing overseas operation losing millions. Send her to clean it up, they said. They were sure she'd drown. Within 60 days, Ursula stabilized operations, cut losses, and created a plan that turned the site profitable. Word spread. She's the real deal. But not everyone was convinced. During a senior review, a director said, She's good for someone like her. Ursula looked him in the eye. You mean a woman or a black woman? He had no answer. She returned to New York for a global strategy meeting. Dozens of leaders flew in. Ursula, still in her modest navy suit, walked in quietly. This time, no one asked if she was from catering. They knew better. She presented her plan: reduce waste, reinvest in tech, and rebuild trust in underserved markets. It's risky, someone said. Ursula nodded. So is stagnation. That day, the board approved her plan unanimously. Her confidence grew. But so did resistance. Some tried to sideline her, cut her access, delay her reports. She documented everything. I don't fight dirty, she said. I fight smart. An email thread leaked mocking her background, her accent, her aggressive tone. Ursula didn't rage. She posted it on the break room board with a note. Leadership isn't about being liked. It's about being heard. The next day, HR launched an investigation. 2 senior execs resigned quietly. Ursula kept her focus. I didn't come this far to be distracted by cowards. A younger analyst approached her in the elevator. I didn't think someone like us could get here. Ursula smiled. We can, but it's not enough to get in. You have to reach back and pull others with you. Ursula began mentoring quietly engineers, interns, admin assistants. She remembered every door that was shut in her face. Now she held the keys and opened them for others. She was invited to a leadership summit. On stage, she was asked, "How did you break through?" Ursula answered simply, "I stopped asking for permission." The CEO was retiring. Whispers circled again. They'd never let her take the top seat. Ursula kept working, quietly, steadily. Until one day the call came. "The board wants to meet with you. Alone." In a private session, they asked tough questions, probed her vision. Ursula didn't flinch. "I'm not here to protect the past. I'm here to build the future." When the meeting ended, silence lingered. Then someone stood and clapped. She got the job. First black woman to become CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Headlines exploded. Some cheered, others scoffed. Ursula. She went to work. Same suit, same schedule, same steel spine. Her first move, cutting executive bonuses and reinvesting in education and innovation. "People first," she said. Always. Wall Street balked. 6 months later, profits soared. She visited the Bronx, her old neighborhood, stood in front of her childhood building. A teen asked, "You really came from here?" Ursula smiled. "Still do. Never left it behind. Just carried it forward." An interviewer asked, "What's your biggest leadership lesson?" Ursula didn't hesitate. "You don't need to change who you are. You need to change the room." She launched a scholarship fund for girls in STEM. "The next me shouldn't have to fight this hard," she said. Hundreds applied. Within months, dozens were enrolled. A legacy began. When critics questioned her approach, Ursula invited them to the data. "If you're allergic to facts, you won't enjoy this boardroom." No one argued after that. At a shareholders' meeting, an investor scoffed, "You don't look like our usual CEOs." Ursula smiled. "And yet I delivered better numbers than any of them. Imagine that." Late nights didn't stop. Ursula read every report, checked every chart, not for approval, for impact. "Every decision touches a family," she'd say. "Act like it." Employees started quoting her. What would Ursula do? It became a rallying cry, not just for numbers, but for courage, clarity, and conviction. Ursula was invited to speak at her old high school. She walked into the gym like she owned it because now she did. "Don't let your zip code predict your success," she told the students. "It didn't stop me." The media asked about imposter syndrome. "Sure," Ursula said, "I've felt it. But then I remember they doubt me because of who I am. I win because of what I do." One morning she found hate mail on her desk. "You'll never belong." She pinned it to her wall, a reminder. "Every time they say I can't, I build something bigger." She created a policy promote on performance, not pedigree. Resumes were blind reviewed. Promotions soared across overlooked talent. Diversity wasn't a buzzword. It was a business edge. Wall Street changed its tune. Headlines now read bold, relentless, profitable. Ursula didn't gloat. She just smiled and said, "Took them long enough." A rival company offered her twice the salary. She declined. "I'm not chasing checks. I'm chasing change." At a university panel, a student asked, "What do you say to someone who keeps getting doors slammed in their face?" Ursula replied, "Build your own door and make it open both ways." She started a leadership podcast. Guests expected glamour, they got grit. She shared hard truths, not highlight reels, and her audience loved her for it. A group of executives met to discuss culture fit. Ursula interrupted. "You mean people like us? Culture isn't static. If everyone fits, nobody grows." Mentorship expanded. Ursula didn't just advise, she opened internships, gave job offers, created pipelines. She wasn't waiting for the system to change. She was the change. At a global summit, a former skeptic admitted, "I underestimated you." Ursula extended her hand. "Thank you. Underestimation is fuel. I use it daily." She received a letter from a girl in Detroit. "I saw you on TV. Now I believe I can be more." Ursula kept the letter on her desk, her daily reminder of why she kept going. A partner company tried to lowball her staff. She canceled the contract. Respect isn't negotiable, she told the board. Neither is their worth. Someone asked when she'd retire. Ursula smiled. When equity isn't a headline. When the boardroom looks like the subway. When excellence has no face. She wrote a book, Lead Loud. It wasn't about success. It was about voice. About surviving a world not built for her and then rebuilding it herself. Critics faded. Success stayed. And Ursula still showed up early. Still stayed late. Not to prove herself, but because really leading meant serving. The company she once fought to belong in, she now chaired its foundation. Legacy, she said, is what you leave behind to lift others forward. An old friend once said, "You used to sit at the back of the classroom." Ursula nodded. "And now I sit at the head of the table, but I still carry that girl with me." She gave her final commencement speech. "They'll tell you the system isn't made for people like you, and they're right. So what do? You change the system." Ursula Burns didn't just rise to the top. She tore ceilings down along the way, not for praise but for possibility. And now the door she built, it's wide open. Who's next?